Welcome back to the Anthony Lee Crypto Channel. Taking a look at Internet Computer today, ICP. One of the old school coins. Let's dive on in and see where we think it's going to go during this alt season. I know a lot of you are thinking there's not going to be an alt season, but I do believe there is. Let me show you why really quick, and then we'll dive into ICP. Give me 60 seconds to show you this. So let's take a look at the Federal Reserve balance sheet, total assets compared to, in the green here, we have total 3, the total market cap for cryptocurrency minus Bitcoin and stablecoins. So you've got the balance sheet, Federal Reserve balance sheet in bluish purple, and the total crypto market cap, total 3 in green. So you can pretty much see when this line is headed down, the blue line, purple line is headed down, that is quantitative tightening. That is when the Federal Reserve is removing from their balance sheet. They're reducing their balance sheet. When it's headed up, that is quantitative easing. That's when they are adding back to their balance sheet. And you can see in this entire bull cycle that we've had, we have been in quantitative tightening. So it is very difficult for risk-on assets to make any progress whatsoever during QT. Let's take a look back at the previous cycle. You can see here, we were in QT. Let me line it up a little better. There we go. When we were in QT this entire time during the bear market, during 2016, 17, 18, 19, going into February, about February of 2020, the Fed began quantitative easing. So they added back to the balance sheet, and look what happened to the altcoin market cap. Boom, straight up. It took a little while to gain some traction, a little sideways and up here, and then boom, straight up. That is when quantitative easing, QE, began. Let's fast forward today, and good news, folks. The Fed has announced that QE easing starts on December the 1st. So here in just a couple of weeks, they will start adding back to their balance sheet, thus quantitative easing, and we can expect a nice little altcoin season that we've all been so worried we wouldn't get. I believe we're about to get it, and I believe it's going to start December 1st. It may chop around and ease sideways to the up for a month or so, and then I believe you're going to get your parabolic run off. Now, I don't think it's going to be as prolific as it has been in past years, and the reason being, the altcoin market cap is just flooded. There are tens of thousands more altcoins in the market than previous cycles. So when money is coming in, yes, money will come in, more money will come in, but it'll be spread amongst tens of thousands more coins. Thus, the return on 99.99% of coins will be less than before. So I will be very, very, very surprised if more than a handful of coins reach a new all-time high this cycle, just because there's so many more coins, the money's got to get spread around. All right, so now that we are sure we're fixing to have an alt season, what can we expect from ICP? ICP has been kind of making headlines lately because it had a nice little run up in the past couple of weeks, kind of on a little correction here, but let's talk big picture today. Here's the entire chart for ICP. I've got a volume profile from the life of ICP to current day. Now, one thing real quick, ICP started off, some charts are different. What are we on? We're on the Coinbase chart. It was released at over $600 per coin. That was a total scam. Some exchanges have it listed over $2,000 per coin. That is not the real price. That was a scam. Total SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried scam. We're not going to go on all that today, but as you can see, as soon as it released, I mean, just straight line down. So it came down over the first couple of weeks it released and bounced. And when it bounced up and found the first resistance here, that's what I consider the first bit of real price action to the downside. All of this to the downside, that was just a sell-off, just overhyped, over liquidity coin. I mean, just nothing. This does not count. So the first bit of resistance, significant resistance to form a top, was right here at about $87. That is what I consider the all-time high for ICP. So we're going to go off of that. And then as you can see, it was kind of down from there, but you did get some chops and price action. So there were people bidding on the coin in here. So this is relevant price action. All the way down into the bear market up until today. So I do believe that each coin will underperform this cycle. I don't believe that ICP will hit a new all-time high. because the market is so flooded with coins. However, we do have some really, really good targets here. You can see we got some local targets here for these SFPs for the liquidity above 20 bucks and right here above $24. I think those will get taken out. One good thing about ICP, you see it in this falling wedge. Each one of these tips here, each one of these wicks here have liquidity above them that was never grabbed, never taken, never taken, never taken. So when you do start coming up and liquidating some of these, you should get instant rocket boost. Boom, 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 just like dominoes falling over to liquidate a lot of these positions of people that have shorted the market on the way down. So you should have some rocket fuel here as you begin to move up. We do have this falling wedge. If we take a measured move from that, from let's say about here where we got the first little bit of relevant price action to there, and depending on when and where you break this thing, but let's say you break it pretty soon here, that's going to give you a run up to about $31. Just above that, we have the 382, about $35, and we have the value area low, which is for the bull run action, not the entire cycle. The entire cycle value area low is way down here, but for this bull cycle, the last bull cycle, we had a value area low right there at the top of this liquidity spike here. You can see this right here. You got a weekly level here. You got a liquidity spike here. You got the 382 here. You got the value area low here. This is going to be a lot of resistance here. This is going to be target one for me, and that's going to lie somewhere in here between $35 and $38. Okay, I'll be honest, guys. That could be all she wrote for ICP this cycle. This would be my target one, about 35 bucks, and you could be lights out from there. If you are lucky enough to get a little bit more of a bounce up, you run into immediate resistance right above with a point of control for the bull market, the 0.5 fib, and some wicks here that were immediate rejections. That's somewhere around the $44, $45 mark. So I think that's absolute best case scenario. I do not see ICP coming up to the golden pocket, which is about $55. I don't see you getting up here to take out this liquidity and deep into this volume profile. I just don't, guys. I'm sorry. Part of the problem with ICP, from what I understand, is a great project. I used to own ICP. I don't anymore, but it's a great project. However, with this scam SBF, all that nonsense, and do your research if you're not familiar with that, but with that whole scam and all that, I just think it's got that old stigma that people just want to stay away because they're just not sure. I mean, once you get burned on a coin, it's hard to go back, even if it's gone legit afterwards. So for me, guys, I'm looking for a $35 target on ICP. From current price action, that's going to give you about a 6 to 7x. And from bottom to top on ICP, that's going to give you about a 16x, 1600% gain if you were lucky enough to catch the bottom on ICP. If not, you're going to should get about 7x from this point, a 700% return. That is my prediction. The 382 will be a conservative target for most coins that aren't tarnished the way this one is. I do like this coin. I do like the project, and I do think you'll get to 382 to $35, but that would be it. I would be looking, of course, I will evaluate closer to time, and if it looks strong from that point, I will be the first to let you know that I think it's going higher. But as of now, if I were to hold ICP, I would be looking to take 100% profit around the $35 mark. Guys, be sure you go to my channel, like and subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. That's what you can do to support the channel. We would appreciate that. If you have any questions, you want to see any of your altcoins reviewed, drop them down in the comments. I'll be happy to take a look. I'll see you next time.